All right, and I'm Fu-Sung Cookye, CEO and Mistress Secretary of Goddesses Media, and thank you for watching the Strike First Gaming Show. I am your host and the presenter of Mythological Moments, and to the left of me we have Cobrakai Tone, who's going to be showing us what's going on in his toy box. To the lower of him we also have Tron, who's going to be showing us what's going on in the latest world of VR. To the left of him, we have Dr.B-Galaxy B, who's going to let us know what's going on in the wonderful world of hip-hop Japanese fashion. And below us, we have Kitty Kaboom, cosplay extraordinaire, who's going to be letting us know all about the wonderful world of cosplay and anime pop subculture. And without further ado, let's begin with our current affairs on our news feed.
A current affair.
Newsflash. Newsflash.
Yeah.
Current affair.
And I'm pulling up. Let's see, and let's go. Okay, so first on what's going on here is, I think this is very interesting. I want to make sure everyone sees the website for all of you out there who's watching. On TheVerge.com, you can find out that Shigeru Miyamoto tours Super Nintendo World Theme Park. So there is a Universal Studios of Japan, and they just opened the Super Nintendo World Theme Park. And of course, it's based upon Mario Land and Mario World, and it shows Miyamoto in this video doing a tour of the property while going through a warp pipe zone and landing in the throne room of Princess Peach's castle. Whew, that was a lot. I want to make sure I said that right.
I am so jealous. I cannot wait to go. I cannot wait till we all go.
We're going, man. That's number one. We're going.
Yes.
Can we see a little bit of that? Can we see a little bit of that? That'd be great.
Yeah, can we watch a little? I haven't seen this yet.
Just a little bit.
Let me back this up for a bit.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, this is him coming out of a warp pipe.
Hey.
Oh my God.
Can we comment how Shiggy looks really good for his age, and during COVID he's doing big things right now for us.
Right.
Oh, seriously. Good stuff.
Dude.
Wow.
Insane.
What the?
I really want to go in that pipe.
So wait, let me get this straight. That wasn't CGI. That was actual physical.
That's the physical pipe
real.
in Universal Studios Japan. Universal Studios Japan.
Wow.
I don't know about you guys, but I wasn't expecting like everything to be as great as it is, but it's actually better than I thought it would be. So I'm super juiced.
I'm gonna cry. I was like, all the childhood nostalgia right now is just hitting. Oh my God, oh wow.
Oh,
and this is him landing in the throne room of Princess Peach's castle.
Oh my God! It looks like a video game. It looks like a video game.
Wow.
I'm literally getting chills looking at this right now. Holy crap.
It looks like 64, but in reality.
Yes. Oh my God.
Yeah.
All right, for everyone who's listening on audio, you can't see it, but the shading of the room he's in right now is like Dr. B just said. It looks like he's standing in Nintendo 64 rendered in the real world.
Seriously, like this is Disney's Toontown times 1,000, you guys.
So you know what this is going to be, because the popularity of Mario, you know Kirby may be next.
Oh man.
And you know that
they even made a Dreamland if they my God.
That is the actual level from Super Mario 64 that they were first in.
And look, there's Thump.
Wow.
The twirling point is just like, I love how they put all these little touches in like that. Oh my God.
Shy guy.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for a Mario to start jumping on stuff across the screen.
Yoshi!
This is insane.
Look at that piranha plant. It's adorable. Oh my God.
Dude.
Wow.
This doesn't even look real. It looks like he's being green screened. It's so insane.
Yeah.
So I don't want to ruin it for anybody.
Yeah.
But if you want to watch more of that and the rest of the video with him walking all throughout Super Mario 64 land, you can check out this video, of course, on YouTube, but it's being covered by TheVerge.com.
Amazing.
Nice.
I know what we're all doing after the show. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Next up on the news feed is Cyberpunk 2077 refunds to unhappy gamers. So apparently, this game released on a PlayStation 4 network, and there were a bunch of bugs, a bunch of incomplete processes with the video game, and made a lot of fans unhappy. And so Sony, for the first time in forever, has refunded people's money, along with Microsoft, which has done the same. Mm-hmm. I have not bought the game, so I know nothing about it, but I've seen screenshots of the game.
Yeah.
Of course, I think this is the game where you could see the character's genitals for some reason. Someone sent me that, of course. And I still didn't buy the game, but I guess now it doesn't matter, because if that many people are requesting refunds and Sony is granting it along with Microsoft, then that means I should wait my turn and see how they're going to fix these bugs and then put it back on the network.
Yeah, they just made the mistake of trying to add in the last generation console with last generation games when it's made for the next generation. You know, a lot of companies do that. We've seen it before. Between, you know, Nintendo to Super Nintendo, Nintendo to Nintendo 64, PlayStation to PlayStation 2. Sometimes they just don't translate right on the old equipment.
Through that. Moving forward. Now, this is an interesting piece of news, especially for those who have been following the Black Lives Movement. We have the first African-American owned video gaming development company. And these are known as Josh and Mike, the Guerrero brothers, who are working on a PlayStation 5 game called Kena Bridge of Spirits. And they're a very small team, very similar to how the team of Mortal Kombat were back when they made the first game in like 92. These brothers, along with another small team that are following them, is completely all African-American owned. Their long game is to eventually open up opportunities for people of color who wish to code, design, and create video games and break into the world market of developing software and video games for consoles.
Yeah.
Love that. Love that. Diversify.
That's awesome.
And they're known as the Guerrero brothers. This is being covered by theundefeated.com. So I wish them luck. I'm going to give the game a chance when I get a PS5. Kena Bridge of Spirits.
Nice.
And then last but not least on the news feed, I thought this was interesting for those in the world of emulation, such as myself, and me sharing it with all my friends and family around me, which is how to install RetroArch emulator on the Xbox Series X or S. Turns out Microsoft did something Sony would never do, which is allow people to turn their console into a development mode console. Usually when you get a developer's mode console, it's because you are a developer and you have a specific number that you can go and give to that company, such as Microsoft, Sega, Sony, and they will give you their developer's model in which you can use to test your video games when you are encoding and making them on your mainframe. Now, Microsoft has opened up the source code to their Xbox, allowing people to purchase a one-time fee of $19 to turn your regular console into developer mode. Once you do that and you create the subscription, you are then able to use the web browser through developer mode and then download the RetroArch emulator, in which they created one specifically for Xbox, which is actually what I'm using through Launchbox. I use RetroArch for some of the emulators that we're using today. And you can play all of your classic video games through this emulator via the cores.
Nice.
Now,
Good news.
coming out
That's really good news to hear. I think we need to have something like that on all the new PlayStation 5 can push that, and we'll be able to play everything forever. Everything that we're known to play for years on all the new systems. Like, that'd be great.
I agree. I think we definitely need this for PS5 so we could play all those retro classic games and kind of compete in them at a higher level. Now streaming of that and everything would be way more seamless.
Exactly. It would give more love and like bring back a new love for, you know, younger generations who didn't get the chance to play it at first, but now they can. That's one thing I really like about Switch is how they have the old retro games you could play.
Yes.
So it's like the same thing. I really feel PS5 and everyone else should do this too.
Agreed. Even for us, Virtual Fighter 5 guys, you know, they have the Virtual Fighter esports coming out for the PS5, so we can all compete online now. So yeah, everybody needs to bring in the older games, retro games, because they're some of the most dominant games.
Right?
The Switch is good with the retro games department for PC Engine, Super Nintendo, regular Nintendo. The problem is you only get the selection that they feel that they were able to license and put it up on the cloud. And if you have a Nintendo game that you want to play and it's not up there, then you won't be able to play it unless you get the emulator.
Yeah.
I think that playing the emulators on the Xbox is a bit more lucrative than a Sony PlayStation, only because of DirectX 12. DirectX 11 is a Microsoft-owned feature. It's on our laptops, and of course, it's naturally on the Xbox consoles. And with that being said, you can play all the emulators close to true form as if you was in the arcade. PlayStation may have to manipulate a little bit if you got a developer's model, and that's even said if they will allow you to even run it on their mainframe. Xbox mainframe is mainly Microsoft, and because of that, it's basically Windows on the Xbox.
True.
And with the streaming software, you can stream to anywhere.
Exciting news. Thank you, Cookie.
Yeah, no problem.
Awesome.
Excellent.
And moving forward, today we're going to go in a different rotation. We're going to start with you, Tron, with your adventures in VR. What do you have for us?
For this holiday season, I'm just going to talk about things that you can do to improve your comfort. We're all about comfort and being able to stay in VR longer than you need to be. And I'll start out. I'm going to give you 3 things that I think are good to improve your VR experience. First of all is the Halo strap. This is a thing that most people probably won't know about, but GoQuest VR, they made this thing to emulate what we know as kind of the best feeling for VR that came from the PlayStation. PlayStation was first to do it. They call it the Halo because it kind of fits around your forehead and comes down to the back of your noggin. And it just gives you the best comfort you can get in VR, and it relieves all that pressure across your cheeks and around your eyebrows and stuff, and keeps you from leaving those marks around your face. You got this extra padding right here. What I use with the Quest is also a Halo VR, and this thing right here makes it so that you can play for 3 hours. And that's about it for that. And the next thing I want to show you is for the summertime, people have a hard time playing VR in the summer because of the heat. And if you don't have an AC system in your house, you might not be able to play any VR. But these things right here, this is by VR and Chill. These things allow you to brush cool air across your forehead. And this thing really works. I was pretty skeptical when I first heard about it, but it really does. You imagine how it feels when you're just sitting in 80, 90, 100 degree weather and you can't play anything. This thing at least allows you to play for maybe an hour before you start getting really hot and soaked up. So this thing plugs into the USB-C right here on the Quest itself, and it gets its power from there. And then it has this this little power thing right here. You can press this and see how it's kind of blowing air right there, and that's the lowest level. And then you can press it 3 or 4 or 5 more times. Let's see if I can get it up there.
Oh,
now if you can hear that too, the rotation on those fans.
Drone fans.
So this thing has been a godsend for summertime. And I don't live in Florida. I live in Bay Area, California, and we don't have an AC in our house. So this is pretty much godsend. This is by, once again, VR and Chill. Right now, they are not selling this because of, if you go to their webpage, because of parts and all that kind of stuff, and because of COVID, basically, they're stopping all selling of this device. So might have to wait, hopefully by next summer. this will come out again. Pretty big. You can see the VR and chill on there. Yeah. This makes it really comfortable. And my last one I'm going to say is probably the most important one is the VR cover. This thing right here, I'll show you how it kind of comes off. This is by VR Cover, and they make these cool little paddings for your VR, so you don't have to worry about soaking up all the stock sponge that comes with it. That thing, like, pretty much anytime you sweat, it will just soak up all that sweat and gunk, and it'll just sit there. And then when you play it, put it on your face again, you're putting all that bacteria and slime and stuff on your cheeks. This allows you to just this is made of like a kind of a pleather, so no sweat gets through this thing.
Is it washable? Like, do you wash it?
This thing you could definitely wash, and it's made to wash. So you could, and if you get like 2 or 3 of these in rotation, you can pretty much use one, put one in the washing machine, have it ready to go. And then they also send you 2 different sizes too. When you buy this thing, you get this. This is the thin one. You can also get the thicker one, so it's like a little bit more cushiony.
Yeah.
But this thing will actually, since it's so thin, it brings you closer to the lens, which gives you a bigger FOV. So you want about like 110 field of view, use the thin one. And if you use the thick one, it's more comfortable. It feels plushy on your cheeks, but it kind of brings your eyes a little bit further away from the lens. So it's you got to play with that. Some are good for like if you're wearing glasses and stuff, if you want it a little bit so you don't scratch your glasses against the lens. Other than that, you can get these right now for the, let me see. They got this, this is the new one right here. If you want to play it, this is when you think about it, it kind of looks just like the PlayStation one. But this is for the Quest 2. They pretty much retrofitted the old one so you can use it for the Quest 2.
Nice.
Yeah, nice. So get that good comfort going and play your heart's content, pretty much.
I was going to ask you, I know these are for the comfortability of sweat and having good airflow and, not putting pressure on your face and stuff like that. Does that comfortability affect VR sickness? Like, give you less VR sickness, or is it totally different?
I think anything helps. If you're able to stay in VR longer, that's one thing. VR sickness, you're still going to have to get over that hump on your own. By every person is different. Everyone has different, like the vestibular things in your ears. Everyone has a different rating of seasickness and all that stuff, and being on airplanes or being in a moving car. So that you're gonna have to get over on your own journey. But just being able to be in VR longer will help with that. So in a way, it does help with VR sickness. In a way, I'll attest to that. So I would say just get one if you can, because that's what you need.
Nice.
Awesome.
Very nice.
Thank you. And there we have it. That is Tron and his latest adventures with VR that he shared. Moving forward. Okay, Dr.B-Galaxy B, what's going on in the latest world of Japanese hip-hop fashion?
Man, not just Japanese, worldwide. We worldwide out here. Shout out to Japan, shout out to the motherland, Africa, and shout out to the US of A. Oh, yeah. So let's start it off with shoes. We're going to start with shoes because that's my main obsession. I got 2 hot shoes. Now, see, what I showed you last time was some Star Wars. It was a little outlandish. Now let's just turn it over to the grown and sexy. When you go out, you want to throw on a nice trench coat, a nice, poltergeist hat, you know what I'm saying? Put it with some nice denim or something like that. And then you're going to wear some of these. So first shoe I got are the Clarks Bathing Ape Collabo.
Love Clarks. That's my brand.
Collabo with Bape. Yep. They're boots. These are for a nice night out with your shorty or, trying to pull one. And here you go. The Bapes Clark boot.
Whoa.
Wow.
Bape's Clark boot has several different embossed sayings and logos from the Bape line on them. They're amazing.
I've never seen those.
Yeah,
never seen those.
These are a grail.
Neither have I.
Have them. Grown and sexy right there. So, I'm gonna pair these up with something real nice. I'm gonna step out looking like, the next America's Top Model.
Is that made of leather?
Yeah, it's made of a kind of, it's leather and some type of like suede like material. Right. It is leather.
So the finish on the top is kind of like fuzzy soft.
Yeah, a little bit of a fuzzy soft, but the inside is definitely got your Native American hard durable leather in there. You know what I'm saying? Like how the natives did it, like the real deal. Last but not least, on the inside, it has a Bape gold tag in there. It's like really deep in there, but it's a Bape.
Yeah, I see it. That's nice. I mean, Clark's. I'm a fan of Clark's on guys already,
right?
But those are pretty damn sexy. Those are sexy.
So
since they're mixing, wait, before you move on, since they're mixing in with Clark, are we gonna get the Wallaby Bape?
Wallabies!
They're already out. They're already out. And I know where to get them, Tone, if you need them.
I want them.
Yeah, I got you. The two colors that come out in the Wallaby Bape are pink and mint green, like Tiffany green. So it's like on the side is camo, and then the Wallaby part, that's the flat part that dips down. It's either all solid pink or all solid mint green, kind of like Tiffany.
Ooh, my kind of style.
Damn, they know exactly what they're doing. Wow.
I don't have those ones, so don't get your hopes up, but I got something else for you. And that would be, we gonna keep it popping, the Timberland brown pair. Now, it's the same thing. We got the Bape collabo with Clark's, but these are the Timberland brown pair. That peanut butter brown, as they say out in New York. The peanut butter. You know what I'm saying? And these are all embossed leather. So,
oh my God, that looks nice.
These are so sick. And each shoe has different stuff on them. So on the last one, you saw the ape face. It's on this one. So if you take the two shoes together, they have different logos on both pairs of shoes.
Nice. What did they do to get that bait? What they laser etched those in?
Yeah,
it looks like it, either laser or burnt somehow. I'm sure laser, because let's face it, that's the cleanest way to engrave anything now.
Right, those are amazing. Let me tell you, it's because I'm a person who feels style, especially in male style. You have to have your street and your casual. You got to have your GQ and dress style. Both Tron and Kai both know about this really well. They both have both sides of the style, and Cookye has both sides of the style that are just
I eagerly await this GQ style of yours. You gave me only a small sample, and I know it's there because of that damn Coach bag that I still want from you.
Right. And Cookye said that in all seriousness. Yeah, definitely. So we're going to finish this off. And Cookye, you're more Professor Xavier than you know, because we're going to get into a bag right now. Because you just guessed the last thing I'm going to show, which is the Billionaire Boys Club duffel bag. This bag is a cross collabo with Private Label NYC, which is a company out of New York that does very exclusive pieces and what have you. And they did this all patent leather white glow in the dark bag with Billionaire Boys Club.
But it looks like a day bag, like a weekender bag or something.
Yeah, and
it really does.
You can put 4 pairs of shoes in here as different switch compartments. So
that's nice. Let's do it.
Oh, look at the print on the inside. That's a space print.
Wow. It has like flight tags on here for so you can identify the bag. Up close, the Billionaire Boys Club logo, of course. And then it has these different compartmental slots inside of it. And you can set up actual chambers to put the shoes in. Chambers.
Nice.
And it's amazing that glows in the dark. And you has the patented Billionaire Boys Club astronaut helmet right there.
I want to see it glow in the dark. You gotta post video later so we can see this glow in the dark. Please.
I will. It's amazing. So like when I leave the room at night and I turn off the lights and I walk away, I always look back. I see it sitting there glowing. So that would be the conclusion of Galaxy B's Fashion Corner. Back to you, Cookye, in the studio.
Thank you. Okay. All right. I good. That was good. All right, Kitty Kaboom, what do we have going on in pop culture of anime and cosplay?
For today, I'm glad that you asked that, because to follow up B, I have some more fashion insight for today. Basically, my whole deal is I'm a huge fan of fighting games, video games, and anime, just like everyone else here. We already know that we're lacking in a ton of our favorite characters ever getting figures and ever getting merchandise. Most of the time we understand that these companies can't produce every single character they've made, but it is beautiful and it is nice when you have companies that actually take the time to, you know, not throw together pieces, but actually make beautiful, detailed pieces from certain characters that people have loved over the years. So what I want to show you guys today are two of my absolute favorite pieces. The first one came from Tokyo Game Show a few years ago. SNK decided to, once they opened their online shop, and it's been doing great ever since then, not only in Japan, but overseas as well, thanks to Zen Market and a few other people they have that work together to bring most of the SNK products and merchandise to us fans over in America. So this one was actually up before it sold out, and you guys already know I go by the Queen of Southtown, so I had to get this. This is the hard chocolate collab with SNK that they did, and this is the Geese Howard hoodie.
Oh, that's cool.
Wow.
Boss Geese.
Now, Hard Chocolate does this style where they have like a graffiti style font in Japanese, which is really beautiful, mixed with my favorite colors. I wear a lot of white, red, and black in my, you know, clothing collection. The beautiful thing about this, though, is this is not a thrown together hoodie. It pays a lot of attention to detail from this character, just like the other hoodies that they have, because we have the infamous bodyguards on each side.
Okay.
So you have Hawker there on one side, and then you have Ripper on the other sleeve going down across the arm. And the beautiful part is in the front. I love the front just as much as I love the back. And that's actually very hard for me to find a hoodie that has such beautiful graphics on the front as much as they do in the back. And, you know, most of the time, if you're lucky, you get a logo. And that's it on the front. And then either that logo bigger on the back or, you know, something random or a saying or something on the back. And every time I see, you know, gaming hoodies or companies that I love do that, I'm just like, do I really want to spend $100 on that? Not really. But when you get this hard chocolate collab SNK, not only is, like I said, the front, but here you go. This is the front, just as beautiful as the back. You got Geese's hands and everything there. Absolutely gorgeous. And of course, you know, pockets in the front and everything. The hoodie has red on the inside.
Oh, that's nice.
That's what you need. You need that red in there.
And I noticed too, with the font, I see the font recognized from the video game Wild Ambition. I noticed that the main picture of Geese Howard in the back is from Fatal Fury 3. Yes. Geese Howard must go home. Yeah.
This is what I mean. Like, they paid beautiful attention to detail to every single character. I also have a My Shiranui hoodie. I haven't opened it yet. That's the only reason you haven't seen it. I'm even debating if I open it or not.
You must for me.
I just might for the show. You know, I'll do whatever.
Okay, if you open the My hoodie, yes, I will pull out the Chun-Li hoodie because I have a Chun-Li hoodie.
Nice.
I believe I know which one you're talking about. And you know what? I think we'll do that challenge. We're going to open hoodies for each other later.
Stay tuned for the unboxing, guys.
The hoodie wars.
If you guys didn't know, not only do they have a Geese one, they have a K one, they have a Metal Slug one, and they have mine. So, and they also have some beautiful artwork of Yuri on the back of a bike. Cool. I will show you guys later the promotional flyers, so we can post them up later, and everybody can see the promotional flyers for Hard Chocolate Cross SNK. So this, we need our video companies, especially in America. we will buy this for $120 because guess what I did? You know? Yeah, thank you to my little brother who went to Evo this year and grabbed it for me after they sold out in Tokyo Game Show, and they were lucky enough to make more of them, and he snagged me one. So, you know, I literally just threw money at him and said, buy whatever you want, give me that hoodie. So, you know, I had to. And
that's good stuff.
I'm really glad I did. And I mean, these are the unique pieces that us collectors and fans alike, this is what we want. And I really feel like Capcom could do something beautiful and creative on this level. I feel NRS could do this for their fans. Just basically all the anime and video game companies. Right now, anime companies do a decent job of it. You have everyone, you know, running around in Kimetsu no Yaiba hoodies right now and coats. So good on them for that. And Jujutsu Kaisen, you know, everybody's running around already in the shirts and the sweatshirts. So I would love for our beloved, you know, video game companies to do this too. And like I said, we are fans. We will pay for these.
Yes, we will.
Yes, we will.
Your fans.
We want you. We love you guys. We want to keep you alive and support you. So please, if it's too expensive to make figures, then make us some badass hoodies. Because, like, to be honest, you know, I would love a Grow figure from Soul Calibur. I would love all these new characters that have been coming out in, you know, Street Fighter V and everything to get more love, more figures. I as much as I love acrylic stands, no, I need figures. And if we're not going to get those, at least give me a badass hoodie that looks like Grow's with belts and buckles and fur on it. And I'll throw 200 at you easy, okay? This you don't know the power of fanboys and fangirls. We're here for that. So
we are.
Take note what she's saying, everybody in the video game world that has a company. Take note, because SNK's booth was selling like hotcakes at Evo Japan this year.
Oh yeah, and I got that Neo Geo hat sitting on ice. I'm gonna have to pull that out on one of the shows. The Neo Geo hat that's exclusive.
Yes,
to Evo Japan.
You should pull that out when we pull out those other hoodies.
Exactly, I'm already on it.
The one thing I wanted from the Neo Geo store, and I still can't get my hands on it, but I'll find it eventually, is the Mars People doll.
Yes, you can get it. You can get it. Good news, everyone. I have a friend, and he's part of Otaku Tokyo Mode, and they are now selling Mars People in America, along with a bunch of the buttons, the keychains, and acrylics from the SNK online shop. So if you guys go to Otaku Mode, like you will be able to get it. Because they have Mars, the last time I checked, they did have Mars People. I actually have one waiting for me in Japan from a friend. So I just need to get it finally. Because at least I get one Mars person. I'm still needing my Terry. And then I was heartbroken that I couldn't get to Japan in time because earlier, like last year, they brought out, if you guys have heard about it, King of Fighters for Girls.
Yeah, I did.
Before the game came out, they had a special promotion where they made each chibi plushie character of the men that were, you know, showcased in the game. And there was a whole wall full of them. And if you went to this promotion, you were able to pick one from the wall. And I am an eat-a-bag lover, okay? I hopped on that just like everybody else did like 5 years ago. And I wanted nothing more than to put every single King of Fighters boy chibi plush in this Eat the Bag. I have a really beautiful one I got in Akihabara earlier this year. And I just want to put all my SNK stuff in there. But it's like completely impossible to get those plushies unless I spend like $3,000 trying to get them all.
Just as a quick side note, the King of Fighters for Girls is a successor mobile game based on and after Days of Memories for Nintendo DS. If you played those dating sims with all the SNK girls. So every SNK girl from every SNK fighting game is in this date sim, or they show up in one way or another, and you're the guy and you get to date one of the SNK girls from one of these fighting games. It's pretty cool. But
what a way to dig into the personalities.
Yeah, like... Yeah, I played it for a little bit, It's a story for another day. It's interesting.
Okay.
We definitely need to talk about dating sim games later, but I do have one last article to show you guys. Speaking of me wanting a grow hoodie with fur belts and buckles, I am very happy that Guilty Gear Strive actually came out about a month and a half ago with this May hoodie. So I want to thank my friend out there who bought this for me, and now because he gave me this early Christmas present, I am going to make a cosplay from it. But they did such a gorgeous, detailed job of making May's hoodie from Guilty Gear Strive, complete with oversized, large, floppy sleeves, complete with the signature Guilty Gear buckles.
That's nice.
Of course, you got to have
Sea of Clouds Voyage is sick.
You have to have her insignias all over it. You have the Sea Cloud Voyage, you know, pretty much. This is like, it's not even printed on. This is an embroidered patch. And they actually put it on very nicely. It looks like it's printed, but it's actually a thin embroidered patch, which is really, really beautiful.
That's nice.
It's got the nice front pockets, you know, big comfy pockets. And just like May's hoodie in the game, it does flare out. I try to show you this as best as possible. It does flare out to become like a dress. So it's not just a fitted hoodie. It actually, you can wear this as a dress, which is super cute on its own. Big, oversized, cozy hoodie. And I'm going to tell you guys right now, this hoodie is actually heavy. And it keeps you so cozy, soft, and warm. They did a phenomenal job for this. It was only about $50.
Jesus.
And this is what I'm talking about. This is exactly what we want more of from American companies. You gave it to us at a decent price. It's something rare, special, collectible. I'll tell you right now, if you guys ever did, like, you know, any jackets, if you did Kai's jacket, Soul's jacket, you know, Eno's jacket, anything, any more of this stuff, we would definitely buy it up. I think this was kind of like a test run for them to see how well it would go. And I'm really hoping that they do more of this in the future. So I'm rooting for you guys out there. Please, we would love more of this. These are wonderful. Keep giving it to us. Keep making it for us. I know you guys have tons of characters to go through, but it's okay. We will wait as long as we know it's coming. So that has been it from my fashion, cosplay, pop culture, and gaming corner. And back to you, Cookie.
Thank you. And moving forward with Cobrakai Tone and what's going on in his toy box.
Yes, everybody. I have a new toy that I just got in not too long ago. I'm excited. Just released. It is by Storm Collectibles. And if you guys know about Storm Collectibles, you know what's up. If you don't, I'm going to up you up. But I have the new Samurai Showdown. Maru.
Yeah.
Yep. So the 112 figure stands 8 inches tall. This thing is awesome. I just got this bad boy maybe about a couple of weeks ago in the mail. I pre-ordered it a while ago. This thing is amazing, guys. Let me go into some details and some pictures for you guys so you can see the quality of work. Because, as you know, I'm an in-box collector. So me showing you the box just only gives you so much of what it's really worth. So as we get in, hold on. This is what we got here, guys. Hahamaru. He stands 8 inches tall. He's a 112 figure. He's all plastic. That hairdo is not real hair, even though the shine is really great. You can see the texture in his muscles. He looks very animated. Storm Collectible does a good job with video game toys. Well, let me get you a background on Storm Collectibles. They're a Hong Kong-based company that started around 2010, and they mainly focus on video game toys, specifically fighting game toys. So my first one was a Street Fighter Akuma. I believe it's from a Street Fighter V line. And the detail on that thing, I didn't really know what I had. And then one of my friends put me up on why Storm Collectibles is so dope as a company. But The articulation also, you know me, guys, I'm all about articulation. You got to be able to pose this thing. It's got to be able to do something other than stand and look pretty. So that's his original stance. As you can see, look at his gi is very beautiful. It has the slits in the legs where you can see where the articulation can do a great bend. His hands, he comes with 3 pairs of hands, closed hands, open hands, holding hands. You can hold the sword with 2 hands in all directions. Comes with 2 sets of hair. It has the lay down hair, and it also has the action hair. So it flies up like, you know, when you're doing flying poses or action poses, nice. It gives it to you like that. It comes with 3 different heads, the regular face as you've seen, the extra mean mug pose, and the smile pose. So he gives you three different poses, 3 different looks, 3 different evaluations of what the heck he's doing. So let me get more into so that's the 2-hand pose. Okay. As you can see, he has full elbow, bicep, shoulder rotation, neck, head, full-fledged ab crunch, ab stretch. His hips move, his knees move. His ankles, he might as well be a ballerina because you can move these ankles and their feet any way you want. You get the craziest of poses. You see, he has it twisted at the end. At the very end, at the bottom, his front foot has that good angle. You can't do that with a lot of toys, especially a toy that retails for $89. You know, I told you guys about Hot Toys last time. Now, to get articulation up to that, it costs you $200 to $400. Right. So he comes with his sword. I think it's called Fugodoku. Fugodoku. I don't want to murder it. My Japanese isn't all that. He also comes with his.
Oh, nice.
Yes. So you get the action poses, and you can actually get in there and.
He's doing the special. He's doing the special.
Yeah.
This toy is beautiful. He comes with a few different versions also. So I have this normal version that I'm showing you, and then he also comes in this bloody version, action bloody, in the middle of the match.
Let's go!
As you guys know, Samurai Showdown.
Yes.
Yep. You get attacked. You get attacked with a strong hit, man. You showing that blood. So that's another version that came out. They also came out with this version. I believe this is a Comic-Con release. I'm not sure. I have this coming in the mail soon. Hasn't come yet. I have it on pre-order. This one is definitely a Comic-Con release, the red. Yeah. I don't have this. I'm trying to find this right now at a good price aftermarket. I don't even know if I can get this retail. And the gray version, which is more expensive than all the other versions I've shown you. And I definitely am having a hard time finding this one. So
that one's hot. That one's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah. This thing is amazing for the price point, $89, guys. It will go up. Storm Collectibles is it for video game toys. It's not going to give you no full fabric or anything like that, but for a full plastic piece, you can pose this thing any way you want. Also, Storm Collectibles makes everything up to scale. Hamaru will stand next to everyone else the height he's supposed to stand. It won't be a one-off. They won't make a certain line like, well, this won't be scaled, but all these will be scaled like some other companies. Every Storm Collectible is up to scale. So that Zangief will be way bigger than this Hamaru.
That is awesome. Oh. And I got to tell you, I am a huge fan of Storm Collectibles. Not only the figures themselves, but the artists they work with too. And I've been waiting a long time. It's still right here because I haven't opened it yet. But are you okay? I have Currie.
I'm waiting on that one too. That hasn't came to me yet.
King of Fighters 98, Terry Bogard. This is friggin' beautiful. So beautiful. It hasn't gone in, the trophy shelf yet. It's still wrapped with the tissue paper over it. My dear friend Matt bought this for my birthday this year, and I still haven't taken it out of the box. But you know what? I already promised I was going to one day get that $700 Kinetics Geese figure because that's a dream figure I want. I know you know exactly which one I'm talking about. And it hasn't sold out yet. Terry, unfortunately, has sold out yet. And I would have really loved to put those 2 pieces together. But if, Santa puts, I don't know, a few bucks in my stocking or something, maybe some little elves want to help me out. I don't know. But I want to try to, at least for my birthday next year, which is in February, try to get that Geese figure finally before it sells out. And I know he's much smaller, but just to be a joke, I'd probably set those two together. You'd have Terry and then have Geese doing his ginormous Seppuku. But you know what? I hope this doesn't hurt you, Cobrakai Tone, but I want everybody to see it as well. So
No. I am all about Storm Collective. I am a super fan.
All right, here we go.
And also, everybody, make sure you get this soon because Iori sold out a while ago. So
he did.
This one's going to sell out fast.
Oh, that's awesome.
Wow.
Look at all the different facial expressions, hands, extra jacket, different arms. He comes with a lot of goodies.
That's sick. Shout out to the Capcom versus SNK 2 community. You know they love this.
Oh, yeah.
They put a lot of detail into him for sure.
These are all the options of poses and accessories that he comes with. Absolutely beautiful. Must have for us collectors. You know, for under $100, how can you go wrong with your boy, this lone wolf? I am so glad. Again, thank you, Matt. You're the homie for getting me this. I love and cherish this. I finally opened part of it, so I can do it. I can do it. But, yeah, I am all the way with you on Storm Collectibles. They have so many beautiful figures. You guys, if you want to start collecting figures, Cobra Kai knows best. Listen to him. Go grab yourself a Storm figure. I'm sure they have either a SNK or a Street Fighter character that you love. They also have Rugal also. Two different variations too, and they're really beautiful.
They also just came out with World Heroes Perfect, y'all. So you know, SNK gets full support from Storm Collectibles. And Dr. B. Now I'm waiting on mine. It hasn't. I think I might have some. I have to go in my collection. I've grabbed a lot of things in the last month, and I still have to go through everything. I probably will present that next. And for you, Dr. B, this one's for you. They came out with Axel from Streets of Rage.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Now, holla at me when they come out with Adam, though. Adam's the homie. You know what I mean?
And I kind of want Skate.
You said what?
I want Skate.
You want Skate? Yep, that's right. They just need to put them all out.
They do. All the characters, the whole line. That's what they need to do.
Even they should do a knockoff Geese with Mr. X sitting on the throne like this. with the goons on the side with the machine guns and stuff.
Sick.
Yeah. Oh, and another thing too. Storm Collectibles did Golden Axe, guys. Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay, that's cool. Wow.
Didn't they also have a Mortal Kombat line?
Big Mortal Kombat line. They
have a big Mortal Kombat line too. Now that I think about it.
Wow.
Only the main figures though.
At least it's a start. I know you and I want the girls.
Yeah, me too. I'm tired of the ninjas. They did enough ninjas. I want the female ninjas. The guy ninjas got their love.
Well, the thing is that they didn't even do all the ninjas. We always get Scorpion, Sub-Zero, but they've totally ignored Ermac, Rain, Noob Saibot, Reptile.
They have the future ninjas. They have Sector and Cyrax, I believe.
Then they smoke.
The future ninjas.
They smoke.
Oh, actually, they did smoke. That was a Comic-Con release. I didn't get it because I wasn't able to get to the Comic-Con that year, and it's already.
I didn't even see that because they don't really advertise as much. You got to discover it almost on your own.
To be honest, I found out about Storm honestly not by online, but about 5 years back when they did start coming out, with the fighting game characters, and during Comic-Con they were doing special promotions. So in 2018. They actually had my favorite artist who works with Capcom and makes the CFN network artwork that you guys see for Capcom with all the characters. He goes by Kiki. He was at their booth. And I found out on preview night that year that he was going to be there Friday. And I flipped out. I was beyond excited. And so the funny thing is the next day for Comic-Con, I planned on being Manat in the bandage outfit. So funny thing is, and this is why I'm such a fan of Kiki designed Manat's bandage outfit. So when he saw me and I saw him, it was like gushing together in some beautiful Street Fighter, you know, fan harmony, I got him to sign my Manat ball, which sits proudly in my room.
So he created that?
Yes.
The mummy costume.
Well, we know where his mind was at.
Well, he was very happy to see it in person. I'll tell you that much. But,
I bet.
And that's awesome because I use Manat.
Yeah. So I absolutely love his artwork. I was so happy. And we actually, you know, follow each other's talents and artworks and creations on Instagram together. And if you guys want, I definitely suggest following him on Instagram and showing him some more love. He does some beautiful, just his own character, female pinups, artwork. He's got some gorgeous stuff.
We will definitely be looking forward to seeing his information very soon, since he has been doing that. I'm excited. Anything else going on in the toy box today?
That is it. I just telling everybody to get those toys, get the variants. There's 4 different variants for Hamaru. Collect them all, get them all. They're going up in value. That's all I can really say. You want to get it at the 89 and that great one at 120 before you might have to spend maybe 30, 40 more.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it for me this week.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. And today on Cookie's Mythological Moments, I decided to commemorate for the oncoming Sailor Moon Super S movie, Eternal, which is a composition of 2 movies. One that's going to come out, the first half is going to come out on my birthday on January the 8th, and the second half is coming out, I believe, February 11th. And these 2 movies is going to be the comprised composition of what was considered the 4th season, known as the Dream Arc. Mm-hmm. So this is the Pegasus Horse, Chibi Usa, with Helios, so on and so forth. But what I'm specifically focusing on today is one of the death battles. I'm going to share this information with you guys here. One of the death battles that was fan created, which was Beerus from Dragon Ball Z versus Sailor Galaxia of the Sailor Moon series, which is in particularly the final season of Sailor Moon.
Yeah.
Here is a promotional shot of that image. So,
boy.
So you can find this. You can find this video on YouTube on your own leisure. But Sailor Galaxia here, she is the strongest sailor soldier in the galaxy. She defends the Milky Way galaxy. Let's see here. I want to go here. There we go. She sits on her golden throne in the Milky Way galaxy, and her story goes like this. There we go. There's a better image of her. Mm-hmm. She was defending the far reaches of the solar system for many, many eons, until eventually she decided to move her final battle onto the very source of evil itself. This source of evil is known as chaos. Chaos is the entity that brings the balance between good and evil in all the universe and in the perception of existence. When she thought she destroyed chaos, she actually absorbed chaos. And through that, chaos just started to destroy her. In what was left of her humanity, she tried to expel the very source of her soul, the essence of it, which is known as a starseed. And that starseed manifested itself into something called Chibi Chibi, which is this, let's see, this picture right here. Chibi Chibi will be reincarnated as the soul of Sailor Galaxia on planet Earth, looking for the hope of light to bind itself to, which is, of course, Sailor Moon. Sailor Galaxia is known for, when she finally got corrupted by chaos, going to many planets and destroying the planets completely and absorbing all of the souls, which is the essence star seeds of people's souls, and inhabiting them within herself. She's collecting all of the souls of the galaxies, and with that, she'll take the strongest guardian or sailor soldiers of that planet and force them to be her henchmen or slaves in her bidding. So she'll go to the next planet while enlisting the fallen soldiers of those guardian planets to go and help her take over the next one. And this is the pantheon of some of the planets she's taken over, because the ladies below her were all strong sailor soldiers of their planets that were good, but were corrupted when they were killed and their souls were absorbed by Galaxia. This is Sailor Iron Mouse. This is Sailor Seirin. This is Sailor Lead Crow. And this is Sailor Tenako. In the comic book, they show 3 more ladies. But this is the main ones that they showed in the 90s anime of Sailor Moon, Sailor Stars, the final season. And these ladies follow her bidding as they eventually reach planet Earth. But before she does, she goes to one more planet. And on that planet, she comes across a very powerful queen known as Princess Kyaku right here, known as Imperial Princess Fireball. The battle ends in a stalemate, and she escapes her planet with her life and hides herself inside of an incense burner, which is being guarded by Chibi Chibi right here. Following her is also the Sailor Starlights, who are from the same planet as Princess Kyaku. Yeah. Yes. And of course, which is what led to the controversial part of the series of 3 men that when they transform, they become women. But the spiritual references to the Sailor Starlights is that they are light beings. And when you raise in dimensional frequency in a different dimension and you become a light being, genitalia and sex have no meaning, because when you're light, you're both light and dark. You're both male and female. You're everything. And sex has no connotation. It has no meaning, because light energy only binds with other light energy, therefore creating anew. And that's what their manifestations was really supposed to mean. But of course, this is all Eastern mythology. This is Eastern studies, and it doesn't mix well with Western studies. So this is something that was controversial back in the 90s, and it took many, many, many years before they released the Stars series in America. That being the case, Galaxia would fight against the Sailor Starlights. The Starlights would, of course, escape with their lives as they're searching for their Princess Kyaku on planet Earth. But instead, they end up finding Sailor Moon, who is the manifestation of the light of hope. Sailor Moon would eventually go up against Sailor Galaxia, and Galaxia would kill Sailor Moon, steal her soul. But the way she eventually defeats Galaxia is that Sailor Galaxia's soul, Chibi Chibi, that manifests itself eons earlier, would sacrifice herself to become Sailor Moon's new soul, in which it was own Galaxia's soul through the body of Sailor Moon that healed her. So getting to the point of all of this, the creators of the Death Battle felt that Beerus had the power to defeat Galaxia. But in Christian mythology and Christian religion, you know, there's only one light being that became dark, that absorbed souls and created a rebellion against God, and that was Lucifer. Galaxia is that manifestation of a female Lucifer that absorbed many souls from many planets, and the more souls she absorbed, the stronger she became. So we're talking about hundreds of worlds she conquered and souls she acquired along her travels before she got to Earth. Does that constitute her being weak and losing towards Beerus, who is not a necromancer and cannot actually absorb souls, but she can? And this is something that was misinterpreted by the creators of Death Battle, and I wanted to make sure that this was articulated correctly. I really feel Galaxia would have destroyed him based upon the fact that she had hundreds of thousands of souls that she absorbed within her from the many worlds that she conquered.
Yeah.
But can you destroy the god of? Can you destroy the god of destruction, though?
I don't think so.
Yes, you can. Especially if you're an angel.
How do you destroy the god of destruction when she absorbed the god of all of chaos, of all of existence itself? She absorbed the balance of realities. So chaos is the very manifestation of evil in the very existence of reality. And without it, then there's an imbalance between good and evil. So she absorbed the very essence of chaos itself, the very manifestation of why evil exists. So in turn, she's become more than a goddess. She's become an omnipotence.
But the god of destruction isn't evil. He's just the balance of the galaxy. He destroys to balance. He doesn't destroy for evil or for good. He just destroys to make balance.
And remember, Beerus has destroyed an entity that was an absorbing entity, which was Zamasu, Zamasu was a Kai that fused with Goku, one of the most strongest entities in the planet, became God Zamasu, who had already absorbed a lot of souls and people, and Beerus destroyed him pretty much after Trunks kind of killed him.
Well, that's the thing right there. He didn't really fight him head on. He had help from all the Z Warriors to weaken him, to put him in the position that he could finally do that. So I see both sides, because trust, I love Beerus, but I do know Galaxia, and I am with the old school Sailor Moon stuff too. Same with Cookies. So this is a very interesting debate, because we can bring up these points right here. Right. So yeah, that's actually quite interesting, because I can see, Galaxia kicking Beerus's ass. And I mean, let me think back. I haven't watched Super since
Beerus is super powerful, because he
can do this and you're dead.
He's the god of destruction. And then you have, like I said, Beerus, you have to compare the worlds of the two animes and the god structure of them. And that's
she became the source. She became the source of existence itself. One half.
She's OP. Then you can't even have this battle. That's like
she would have to fight the.
But the creators of Death Battle did not know that, so they could not articulate that. Therefore, they couldn't have the same conversation that we're having.
Right. There you go. So that's where it leaves it in the big mystery box. Or you have to give it to Galaxia on that one, because she's a more powerful being. It's just like, it's like having one of the Earth Warriors or super mutants or whatever versus the Watchers in Marvel. You can't beat the Watchers. They're like, they see the whole thing like a reader does. You can't beat the people. It's like beating Deadpool. It's like he's talking to the audience. How are you going to beat someone who's like talking to the fourth dimension? It's like, that's what I mean.
That is true. Honestly, I have to agree with Cookie on this one and give it to Galaxia, because it just makes more sense to me. When you break it down like we did, I think it should have gone to Galaxia.
So, but
that makes sense.
And on the side, playing devil's advocate for a second, on the side of the Dragon Ball universe, because, and this is true, there is a larger fan base in DBZ than there is Sailor Moon, because Dragon Ball Z didn't have the same censorships that Sailor Moon had. Dragon Ball had censorships only with his cursing cut out and some of the blood and stuff taken out.
And boobs.
Right. But they did show Dragon Ball Unfiltered on the Telemundo channel.
They did.
So if you wanted to see Dragon Ball in Spanish and see that and see that shit uncut completely, Telemundo showed you that everything.
They did. It was great. You just click it on 6 a.m. It's Dragon Ball Z. Yeah, I was totally watching that all the time.
And unfortunately, Sailor Moon went through years and years of fights between two companies over the rights of 5 different seasons. In the 5th season, the mystery season, nobody would never talk about because of the so-called transgender transformation. And it's funny because they play such a big role in this series. When all the soldiers get killed by Galaxia, see, Galaxia was smart. She's the only female villain that did something the other female villains in the 4 other seasons didn't do. She killed Sailor Moon's husband first, because it's always him who's always saving her ass. And she said, you're dying first. Now there's nobody that can save you. And all the soldiers she killed, including the lesbians, Sailor Uranus and Neptune, God bless their souls, and then left it to the Starlights that were left from their own planet defending Sailor Moon, who is the light of hope.
Yep.
So that's my moment with mythological moments this time around. This now brings us to our topic of the day.
Can I jump in before we get into the topic?
Yeah. What's your last minute?
I want to see what you guys what do you guys think about the absorption of Crunchyroll by Funimation? What do you guy think about that overall as a move? How would that affect the anime world?
I think that's some Galaxia shit right there, to be honest. Like, you want to talk absorbing?
well, Sony. It's Sony.
Leave it at that. Move on.
It's like Unicron chewing up all the planets.
Yeah.
They got the
But
momentum.
I do respect the one thing I did hear in the grapevine that Sony's going to do. That means they may be relicensing a lot of the older anime that you and I know, Kitty, by Geneon, Pioneer, and ADV Films.
I was just talking to Olaf about this last night, and I was saying, I brought up Geneon, and I brought up, Aniplex, which is, Sony as well, and Pioneer, and, Manga Entertainment. And we were just talking about all of that. Just, how there were so many and they either disappeared or got, swallowed up by bigger companies. And to be honest, Sony has been in anime for years. Yeah, especially with the old school animes, you would see Sony in there all the time. Or you would even see
they were distribution. They're an entertainment. They're an entertainment entity. So they deal with distribution, and really their main start in anime is with music because they have a big control over Star Child and I can't think of the other one. Something Records. It'll come to me.
And not only that, like when they did Final Fantasy Unlimited, you had Sony with Square Soft that took care of the music half of things back then in the good old days. So I'm really hoping that Sony does, now that this happens, I really hope that Sony does bring back the old school. But this is one point of why I'm bringing up the conversation I had last night. The Kimetsu no Yaiba Demon Slayer movie, we have had it postponed for a while, and it's been so pushed back to come released in the States that I feel with this whole merger that's been happening, unfortunately, Kimetsu no Yaiba, the movie, got caught up in that. And this is one of the reasons why it hasn't came to us in the States yet. Because, for example, with Funimation and the Super Brawly movie that came out, you had it come out around December, and then it released in January of that next year. So I think that was kind of the main schedule with Kimetsu no Yaiba. It came out in the fall of this year, and by probably mid-January, it was going to come out to us. But now we have no clear date or idea when that movie is going to be coming to the States. And I feel because it is part of this whole situation that's going on, it has been postponed even longer. And I would just
we're now dealing with management rights now. Now that they have the acquisition, we're now looking at management rights and licensing and all that that's going under Sony's umbrella will now probably have renewed contracts. Yeah. It's definitely a story for another day, but something to dig into.
Yes, I would like us to dig into that later. I'm just curious about it, and I feel like it's just being postponed more because of this whole merger that's now happening.
Totally understandable.
I just want to see the damn movie. It looks so good. I just want to see it.
And with that said, we're going to move into the topic of the day, which is video games. Which video games deserve either an HD remake or a sequel? All right, Tron, I'm going to start with you.
My choice is easy for me. I want to see this game in HD, HD music, HD graphics. It's going to be Contra, the 1987 arcade, 1988 NES release. That game is epic.
That was a hard game.
Beginning to the end, from the stress you have to put the password in, the up, down, left, right, BA start, all that stuff, the references to Aliens and Predator and all that stuff. It just kicks all the nostalgia, knocks off the door, and I love that game, and I would love to see that in like a kind of a Ori and the Blind Forest type graphics, 4K, 8K, give me all that stuff. Give me all the music and updated either some kind of chip tune or some kind of like rock release or something like that. That's what I want.
Love
Hey, guess what, Tron? They got it. They have a new Contra out. You should go check it out. It's out.
What?
They have a new Contra out. Updated graphics. all music, gameplay, and online multiplayer.
Oh man, let's go.
Go check it out. It's
I
on.
gotta check
Go
that
check
out.
it out on the PlayStation Store. It's there.
Was it a PlayStation 4 release or 3 release?
Yeah, it's a PS4 release.
Okay.
I noticed that you mentioned Ori and the Blind Forest graphics. If you're interested in those type of graphics, then I highly recommend that you check out the game that inspired Ori and the Blind Forest, and it's called Child of Light. Yeah. That was same graphics, same everything, but it's what inspired Ori and the Blind Forest. And I think there was a sequel to that, right? Ori and the Wispy Woods or something, in the Wisps.
Ori and the Wisps.
And the Willy Wisps.
The Willy Wisp or Willow's Wisp? I can't remember.
Should be
Well, we know the word wisp is in there, right?
You get the Whispering Willows. You get the Whispering Willows, so it's probably Willow.
Okay. Which also, it looks like a very beautiful game. It really does. I need to check that one out, but
it's on Steam.
I don't have a gaming PC yet.
Get the GP Win 3.
Is it on PS5?
Huh?
It should be. It's on PS5, right?
I don't know. I don't have a PS5.
Neither.
Okay.
Not yet.
I'm waiting for them to get their issues out so they should stop exploding.
I have the 5 and it's fine, but I don't have that game.
Okay. Well, if anybody wants to come over and play PS5, you're more than welcome to.
Right.
Okay. All right. Okay. I guess I'll go next then. So, to stick with my theme, so I really did enjoy the Dragon Ball Z fighting game, Dragon Ball Z Fighters.
Yes, it's amazing.
When Arc System Works teamed up.
Yeah.
When I believe Arc System Works teamed up with Sammy. If I'm right, did I say that right, Kitty? It was Sammy and Arc System Works, so it's just all Arc System Works.
I thought it was just all Arc. I didn't hear of Sammy, but to be safe, we'll just say it was Arcsys. So
right. So we know Arc is up in there, but Arc did all the graphics and everything, and I felt that I've actually played all the Dragon Ball Z fighting games from Super Nintendo to PlayStation. Battle 22, all of that. I played it all, and when they overhauled it, they did words can't explain how they really, really, truly remade it over for the new generation and got everybody playing it. The world is playing it. I feel that for the women, they should do the same, with Sailor Moon. And I'm going to go and share this screen here with y'all. But Sailor Moon had its first fighting game for the 3DO.
Yes! I love this game. I love this game.
So here's the thing. Interesting story. There's 2 fighting games for Super Nintendo, and everybody has side tournaments at every major con on the Super Nintendo for the SNES version of the Sailor Moon fighting game.
Yep.
But when they tried to move it over, they moved it over first on the 3DO, which is this version. Then, of course, you have the Saturn version, which they called it Various Emotions. So Various Emotions is a Saturn upgrade of this 3DO version. And then PS has the same thing, which, of course, is Various Emotions as well. I'm going to be honest. That game was shitty. The Super Nintendo version of the game is so much better. And unfortunately, this version of the game was just not good at all. And I think if they allowed Arc System Works to get into the Sailor Moon franchise,
oh man, that'd be
they
good.
would do if they do the same justice they did to DBZ and pull in all those characters, then that means not only will we get the Sailor Soldiers, we would get a lot of keynote villain characters from the first season, from seasons 1 through 5. So it's very well we can see Galaxia, Nehelania, the Amazons trio, the Amazon Quartet, the 4 generals that worked for Queen Beryl, the Doom Phantom, the 4 Phantom sisters from Sailor Moon R, Ann and Alan of the Doom Tree series. Like, we could get all of that in there. And with Arc's touch, and with the help of Naoko Takeuchi, who's the creator of Sailor Moon, they can really pan out what those movesets would be and give it the same treatment. Air combos, spectacular, all that bullshit that you see in the new Dragon Ball Z.
Crazy.
Put it on the Sun Moon.
I can see it now. Oh my God. Tag teaming with certain Sailor Scouts, big
And villains.
Yeah.
Do it on the same level,
Oh, man.
same amount of people.
Oh man, that'd be a game right there. Oh.
And then if they did it right, they can show it off and be like, this is what the Gal Fighters sequel should have been. Because Gal Fighters could have been like that too, you know, but they made it into this. It was awful. That Tag Team Frenzy game was just awful. But that's what I feel in terms of, you know, a new HD remake I would like to see. There are other games I'd like to mention, but Sailor Moon is the one I'd like to see on the level of Dragon Ball Z with Arc System Works' special touch.
That would be a beautiful friggin' game. And once again, take all my money if it ever happens. I'd already be pre-buying season download DLC, like for the rest of the game's like lifespan. I'd just be like, here's $1,000 in advance. Just do what you need to do, and thank you very much. Yes, I want that game. You got me hyped for no reason now.
Awesome.
Okay, since I'm talking, yapping, I guess I'll go next. I have a very obscure type of side games that I really do enjoy playing. And since you brought this up as, you know, HD remakes, not only that, basically, I would love to see these games on the PS5 because I've brought this up before. The PS5 controller, to me, basically was born off of the PS Vita. I feel like the PS Vita was a blueprint for how they wanted the PS5 controller to be in the future because it literally does everything that, you know, the Vita did, and now they're incorporating it in a new console system. And with that being said, I love a couple of games. I don't know, they were kind of obscure, so I don't know if you guys have heard of them, but the first one is Frobisher Says. It's basically a European spin off of WarioWare games, where you had a goofy little British snarky character named Frobisher. You would play it on the PS Vita, and he would have you do certain things. And they were all quick-timed games. So it's basically like you're kind of speed running through it while he gives you orders. And all the mini games, there were hundreds of mini games in there. So you would have to find a character and look around and find it all over the room. And then, okay, on to the next one. The next one, say this random word in Spanish. And you would yell into the PS Vita and say it in Spanish. Then it'd be like, you know, blow the birthday candles out. And you'd be like, blow them out. You know, it was a very fun, genius, interactive game that I felt was way ahead of its time. It should have gotten more love. I believe it came out around 2012, I believe, for the Vita. And I actually ended up borrowing my friend's Vita for the longest time because I got so addicted to playing that game. And it was kind of like an upgraded version of the the regular PSP's WTF game. If you guys know about WTF, it was another fun random mini game. It was it stood for Work Time Fun. And you were a Japanese salary person in this factory doing all these random tasks. And the game was really creative for the fact that it actually had little, you know, once you completed many rounds and you got trophies and stuff, you could unlock things in the game. For one, they would make you use your PSP as a ramen topper. And it came with a special countdown of a buff Japanese guy in Speedos flexing for 3 minutes, telling you that your noodles would almost be done, and then flexing around, be like, yes, your noodles are coming soon. I hope you're hungry. Oh, it's almost down to last minute. And then when it was done, he'd be like, your noodles are done. And you could do a girl version or a guy version of that. So the game was just so out there and unique. It was one of my favorites. WTF, Work Time Fun. So Work Time Fun and Frobisher Says, I would love to come to the PS5 because, again, with Frobisher, you now have the PS5 controller, just like with Astro's Playroom. You can move around. You lift it to jump. You flick it. You need to blow into it to start moving your character around. All of these wonderful, you know, interactive ideas that they incorporated into the game. And I really wish that, you know, Sony and PlayStation had these ingenious games like Work Time Fun and Frobisher Says. So I would just die to have those come back. It doesn't have to be HD, but I would love there to either the game come back and be re-updated HD, or to have a sequel to those games. Because I mean, now, like I said, those games I feel were ahead of their time. But now in this day and age, there's more, you know, Japanese pulp culture in America. It's more open and zany, you know, indie games. They have more of a platform to show off on now. So I'd really hope that those two titles come back.
Nice. Pretty dope. Pretty dope. I'll go next. Mine is a game that I liked a long time ago when I got it, but it just, you know, didn't have enough processing power in the system. It didn't have enough depth, but I seen the potential. And it is 1997 PlayStation release of Bushido Blade.
Oh,
Yes. I love this game. It's just, the controls were horrible. The idea and the concept were all there. You know, you got all your different warriors with different melee weapons, and they all affect and cut and slash and bash differently. And I think if they just did an updated version where, you know, you get everybody with more HD graphics, cut more than just the limb, you might be able to cut off a finger, a hand, you know, get more physical with the attributes. Like if you cut off a wrist, maybe you don't get much damage. You cut off a shoulder, maybe your energy, give a little bit of energy bar so you have a bleed off. You know what I mean? Things that I'm thinking of, you know, with this. And even it could get to the point where this game would be so dope if it was VR. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I think this game deserves a remake, new physics, new graphics, add a little bit more, since it came out with the original polygons that you couldn't really tell too much. And it was hard to control the game. You know what I mean? You slash this way, your sword's going way up, down. You know what I mean? Just fix it a little bit. And I think it'll be a very competitive fighting game where, you know, it's not about just bash. It's more like, how long can you survive and get that first samurai slash to their throat and that person's down? You know what I mean? I think
way more strategic play. I like that. That's a real good idea.
It sounds like almost on the Mortal Kombat level of detail, but with Japanese swords. Because I know Bushido Blade was really the way of the shinobi, Bushido, samurai. It was in the samurai world. So if we had that depth of Mortal Kombat, but with the true real-to-life realism of melee weapons combat, then I can definitely see what you're talking about, which is something I wanted for the Samurai Spirits world anyway. So for Bushido Blade, they can be the actual model for that, because they're the ones who actually invented it first for that concept.
Right, and you got to always remember Ghost of Tsushima and, you know, Sekiro and games like that kind of are giving that game a chance. If, you know, those are recently released Japanese samurai titles. You can bring back Bushido Blade really easy.
Yep.
And the thing is, Bushido Blade wasn't like, you know, Mortal Kombat, the other games. It literally is, you have your weapon, you chase each other around in the open stage. People try to run. I used to play that, like my friends, when you injure them and like you have their arm broken or whatever, they're trying to run from you. He's like, you ain't running nowhere. And he just comes, slash them up and all the blood and stuff. It's great. It's really fun. It's like people try to run from you when you're injured, or try to lure you into getting, like, just coming for a kill, and then back your leg and have you limping, and then it's like a battle of two injured people. It's crazy. I love that game. It's great. It's great. Well, since we're segueing into off that, I would say I have two games that I want to see get the HD remix in PS5. The first game would be an RPG, and it would have to be Chrono Trigger. And Chrono Trigger is one of the biggest Super Nintendo RPGs ever that did not get a chance to have a proper reboot. It did come out with a PS2, I believe, release of Chrono Cross, or PS1. Don't quote me on that one, but it was so terrible. Who cares what system it came out on? But Chrono Trigger had some of the most iconic music from Squaresoft, and it still does. It holds a light to Final Fantasy's soundtracks for a Super Nintendo title, which is insane. Rappers like Wiz Khalifa and a whole bunch of other people have sampled from it, including myself, from the soundtrack. It's just amazing. And it has like great bedtime music. If you ever want some good bedtime music, listen to the Chrono Trigger soundtrack. The songs you listen to are Songs of Time, and the other one is Shala's theme, because Shala's the main female character in there. She has a theme called Shala's theme. Great music just to listen to for meditation or to go to sleep to is Chrono Trigger. The other game that I want to see have an HD remix on PS5 is Bloody Roar. Another Bloody which they've been talking about. But we need Bloody Roar 5 or Bloody Roar revamped, whatever they want to call it.
So just kind of putting a comment to Bloody Roar, because I like the game. I don't think I love it as much as you. I only know a few people that love it just as much as you. But I think what I'd like to see with Bloody Roar is to reintroduce it through another game. See, I would like to see new crossovers, and I would like to see a Bloody Roar and Killer Instinct collab. Yes. Because they're in the same universe and the characters are very much the same. Right. And I'd say if they give the Bloody Roar characters the combo mechanisms of the Killer Instinct characters and bring the Killer Instinct characters into the 3D space world of the Bloody Roar world, then we can really have multi-angled fluidity.
True. I believe in that. Combo. And Bloody Roar is very, I got Cobrakai Tone into it. He started coming over to the house and playing on the gaming computer that Fu-Sung Cookye graciously put together and made sure is running correctly. We play many games of that, and it's such a fluid game, even on Bloody Roar 2, from 2 up. The most fun ones that everyone like are Bloody Roar 2 and 3, but I still think that 4 has the best graphics, and it's more challenging because of having a soul meter and a life meter and being able to balance those two. So hopefully we'll be seeing a new Bloody Roar title, and they did make some announcements about a future Bloody Roar title coming. There just hasn't been any dates or anything yet, but they have talked about Hudson has bought the rights back to it. So hopefully we'll see that coming on PS5. And I think it's coming on PS5. It'd be the perfect game. So hopefully.
Yeah. And I like your Chrono Trigger, man. Chrono Trigger was a dope game, and it came out in the golden era of RPGs. So many dope RPGs came out around that time that it's easy to get lost in the sauce. You got your Final Fantasy 3s, your Secret of Mana, your Wild Arms, your Suikoden, you got all that stuff. And even more that I can't even remember the name, but that was the biggest era of RPGs for me. So to have that remade and put more focus on it, because it was a dope concept of time travel, and you get how many different endings?
50.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
And the original art's by the man who made Dragon Ball Z, so it has all the Super Saiyan type of art and all the characters that look like Cell and Frieza and all them. He's the one who did the actual art for Chrono Trigger. How could it not be successful in this era? Because everyone still loves Dragon Ball Z and the animation of Dragon Ball Z. So to see it come back with a video game that looks Dragon Ball-ish, but it's not Dragon Ball-ish by the guy who drew Dragon Ball, that's a moneymaker. So...
And Square's still top, so Square's still at the top. So yeah, do it.
Yeah, only makes sense.
Okay, real quick, honorable mention. We need new JoJo fighting games.
I agree.
All-Star Battle, remake All-Star Battle, HD. There you go. We got a new tournament game, a game that everybody loves, characters they love. The story is still going on, so you're still going to have like DLC and seasons for days with that one. So... Honorable mention, JoJo's. Bring it back. Fighting game, please.
Most def.
Battle.
Awesome. Well, that concludes our time for this episode of the Strike First Gaming Show. I want to thank the audience out there who has been tuning into this. And please look forward to our next episode, where we will be doing more from mythological moments, street fashion, and hip-hop culture from Dr.B-Galaxy B, the toy box from Cobrakai Tone, and also the VR adventures with Tron, and more anime subculture and cosplay news with Kitty Kaboom. Thank you so much, and we look forward to seeing you with the next episode.
Happy holidays, everybody.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Right? Happy holidays. Oh, my God. And a happy new year. May everyone have a blessed 2021.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
What?